Hi, I'm Ed Bashaw, and I'm the Dean of the School of Business here at Emporia State University. And it'll be my pleasure to give you a quick little tour of the new and remodeled Kansas Business Hall of Fame. We've always wanted to have, with the goal in mind of providing a space that is equal to the accomplishments of their inductees. And so I think we've been able to do that. And we also wanted to put it on a university campus, in our case, Emporia State University, so that it could serve as an inspiration to students. This is actually during the day a student lounge, and many students come through here. So it'll be my privilege to take you through a little bit of that. We begin our tour in the foyer just outside the Hall of Fame. It's located in Kramer Hall on the campus of Emporia State University. And this is the first sight that visitors to Kramer Hall will see when they enter our building. The Hall of Fame is known by its inductees. And those of you in the Kansas audience will no doubt recognize many of the names that have been inducted over the years here. And we induct them in two categories, historical and contemporary. And we've listed them on our plaques here in order of when they were inducted. I would also like to acknowledge one of my predecessors, the founding dean of the School of Business, Dean Hashmi. It was his idea back in the 80s to create such a space. And it came to reality in 1989. And it's on his shoulders that we stand. So thank you, Dean Hashmi, for a brilliant idea and for the energy and fortitude to take it forward. I'm standing here on the south wall of the Hall of Fame, where the other half of our inductees' plaques have been located. I'm standing next to one of the key features, I think, of the Hall of Fame, and that's the touchscreen monitors here. So visitors to our Hall of Fame can learn about each of the inductees, more about the honorees, who our board of directors are, and they can scroll around in this to get a lot more information about each of the inductees. We've designed this space to be flexible. The configuration you see now is for a lounge space, and it's day in and day out used by our students in School of Business to study, congregate, eat, all of the things that you would think a college student would want to do. In addition to that, we wish to inspire these students so that they read the stories of their fellow Kansans and think about ideas that they may have and the possibilities that entrepreneurship and commerce bring together. In addition to the lounge space, it can be used to have a press conference. We envision the day when we announce new winners that we would bring the press and family and friends in to announce who they are, and we would do that in this space. Finally, a third use of that is for conference facilities. This room in here could be breakout rooms. It could be also used as a meeting space or a space for dinner or serve meals at. There's a space that accommodates caterers, and we have a conference room that holds about 65 to 75 attendees there. So there's some flexibility in that, and we wish to make that available to our important publics. I hope you've enjoyed the brief little tour of the Kansas Business Hall of Fame, and I hope you agree that it's an asset to our community and to our state. We hope to see you here sometime to give you a personal tour. Thanks very much.
Good morning. Welcome to the recently updated and beautiful Kansas Business Hall of Fame located in Kramer Hall on the Emporia State University campus. My name is John Rich. I am an emeritus professor of accounting at Emporia State and the recently appointed executive director of the Kansas Business Hall of Fame. The mission of the Kansas Business Hall of Fame is to celebrate the Kansas heritage of outstanding business leadership, to promote an appreciation of the role of leadership in the American free enterprise system, to recognize outstanding examples of Kansas leadership and business excellence, and to provide role models to inspire dreams and guide careers. Since 1989, the Kansas Business Hall of Fame has annually recognized outstanding Kansans who have excelled in business and entrepreneurship through induction into the Hall of Fame. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. James Leiker, professor and chair of the Department of History at Johnson County Community College in Overland Park, Kansas. Dr. Leiker is the chair of the Kansas Business Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Dr. Leiker.
Hello, my name is Jim Leiker, Professor of History, and I serve as Board Chair for the Kansas Business Hall of Fame, which for the past 31 years has celebrated Kansas's heritage of outstanding business leadership. Among our goals is to promote examples of entrepreneurial excellence, role models who can inspire students and guide careers. All inductees into the Hall of Fame have connections to Kansas, either born, raised, educated, or built their legacies here. More than 60 have been recognized, among them Walter Chrysler, Fred Harvey, Clyde Cessna, Ross and Olive Beach, Clara and Russell Stover, and last year's recipients, Henry David Lee and H. Lee Scott, Jr. I am speaking today from the Hall of Fame's remodeled space in Kramer Hall at Emporia State University School of Business. Thanks to the efforts of Dean Ed Bashaw, the space has been converted into a modern meeting space and public reception area with electronic displays to highlight the inductees and their work. The Hall of Fame truly does belong to the entire state of Kansas. Last year, the Hall of Fame continued its sponsorship of a statewide entrepreneur essay contest for students grades 9 through 12. Their essays are a set of reflections on those inductees who have been most inspiring. We thank the Kansas Chamber of Commerce for their generous donation of the prize money. I'd like to acknowledge these authors of the winning entries. Shay Inlow, sophomore from Sedgwick High School, writing on inductee Fred Harvey. Emma Elder, senior from Nemaha High School, writing on Dan and Frank Carney. Talon Ellis, freshman from Wellington High School, inductee William Coleman. Madison Paradise, freshman from Sedgwick High School, inductee Philip Anschutz. Faith Finley, sophomore from Emporia High School, inductees Dan and Frank Carney. Sydney Hammond, junior from Emporia High School, inductee Bill Curtis, and Jill Carlson, senior from Lansing High School, for her essay on Walter Anderson. We extend sincere congratulations to each of these essay winners. Each year, the Board of Directors of the Kansas Business Hall of Fame reviews applications forwarded by a nominating committee and selects one or more contemporary and business leaders. This year, we add 2 individuals, one from each category, to the list. The 2020 historical inductee is Walter Herschel Beach, famously known for the company that bears his name, Beach Aircraft. Born in 1891 in Pulaski, Tennessee, Walter made his first solo flight as an aviator in 1914, gaining valuable flying experience during World War I as an Army pilot, instructor, and engineer. In his civilian career, he barnstormed the Midwest, performing flying stunts for audiences, and in the 1920s became a manufacturer of high-wing monoplanes for private and commercial use. In 1930, Walter married Olive Ann Meller, herself an inductee into the Kansas Business Hall of Fame. 2 years later, they established their own plant in Wichita, the Beach Aircraft Company, and by 1938 reached an impressive mark of $1 million in sales, quite a feat during the Great Depression. During World War II, Beach shifted his attention to military production, by 1945 employing nearly 15,000 people in its 1 million square foot factory and having delivered more than 7,400 planes to the U.S. Armed Forces. At age 59, Walter Beach suffered a fatal heart attack, but under his wife Olive's management, the company continued a record of successful aircraft production for decades, supplying products for NASA's Gemini, Apollo, and Space Shuttle programs. In 1980, Beach Aircraft was acquisitioned by the Raytheon Company, and today, Beach planes are a brand of Textron Aviation. Walter's legacy as an aviation pioneer and aircraft design innovator won him a place in the National Aviation Hall of Fame in 1977. We are proud to welcome him into the Kansas Business Hall of Fame. This year's contemporary inductee is Cecil L. O'Brate. Born in Enid, Oklahoma, a child of the Great Depression, O'Brate worked many jobs as a youngster, from newspaper delivery boy, grocery store worker, and gas station attendant. In high school, he moved with his grandparents to Syracuse, Kansas, to custom farm 3,000 acres. In 1946, by which time he met his future wife, Frances Cole, O'Brate began engineering studies at Oklahoma State University, attending for 2 years before returning to Kansas to help his grandfather in an expanding farm and grasslands operation that by the mid-1950s numbered more than 35,000 acres. In 1965, with Garden City as his home and business center, O'Brate purchased the Palmer Manufacturing and Tank Company, which produces fiberglass and steel tanks for the oil and gas industry. Palmer Manufacturing grew from 2 to more than 200 employees with over $70 million in annual sales. Through the 1980s, O'Brate purchased regional banks and opened farm equipment dealerships, persevered through the steep drop in oil prices and the 1985 market crash, and today owns several independent oil and gas companies. The two largest, Palmer Oil Incorporated and American Warrior Incorporated, operate 3,000 producing wells in 35 Kansas counties. Now in his 90s, O'Brate's entrepreneurship extends to sorghum-based food production, ethanol production, a Garden City industrial park, and residential and commercial real estate development. Not forgetting his roots in poverty, O'Brate has donated millions of dollars to nonprofit charities and organizations, including Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Boy and Girl Scouts, Youthville, Garden City USD 457, and Garden City Community College. O'Brate recently gifted his alma mater, Oklahoma State University, $35 million toward construction of the school's new baseball stadium. The Kansas Business Hall of Fame is pleased to honor this native of the Sooner State who found his true home in Southwest Kansas.